Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Micah Stevens and you are here for part 2 of our clip-in series. We're going to be clipping in reverse today. So first things first, let's go ahead and talk about the reverse launch and the differences between reverse and forward. Just in case you guys missed part 1, go check it out here. But let's go ahead and talk about the differences between forward launch and reverse launch. Forward launch refers to the wing being behind us and running forwards to get that glider to come off the ground. Reverse is just the opposite. We're facing the glider and we're moving backwards to get that glider to come off the ground. In either case, it's really a factor of wind speed or airspeed that this glider is experiencing. The threshold is really 6 miles an hour. Any less than that and that glider will not come up very easily, in which case we've got to run forward to get that glider to pop up off the ground. Or if there is enough wind, 6 miles an hour or greater, we're going to want to face towards the glider to kind of brace ourselves against that wing coming up through the power zone. In this video, we're going to be doing reverse clip-in. So let's go ahead and pop on my forehead and get right to it. So bridles come together. At this point, you want to poke an imaginary pencil through the bridles. In other words, you're going to keep this orientation, hold it in your right hand, underhand grip. At least this is the way I like to do it. And you're going to go ahead and pronate your wrist inwards. Switch hands, and I like to grab my risers, both my risers in my left hand, so I can easily clip right and then clip left. And with clipping in, guys, there's always a number of ways to do this correctly. You're just trying to get to the end goal of having the A's in your hands ready to inflate the glider nice and cleanly. If you've got tension in your lines, oftentimes these risers will cross, and it can be confusing to figure out which riser is which. Go ahead and separate these risers and step inwards, giving it some slack. And then these risers should drape just like they were for our forward inflation. I've clipped in, now it's time to go through my harness checks. Leg, leg, waist, chest, chin. When you do these checks, guys, like I said in the last video, take your time with it. There's no rush. When you take your time here and you're diligent here, it translates into the actual inflation and into the release, into the control. It just makes it for a really nice, smooth, clean launch. So breathe through this process. Now that we've gone up to our helmet, we're going to go down with gravity, checking our carabiners, trims at neutral, in this case all the way in on the Kona 2, finding the rear riser. And this should sound familiar if you watch the last video. It's the exact same process here. So as I come to my brake handles, I'm going to lift up the riser first. I'm going to make sure my risers are square. Roads and streets look clean and straight. Again, you're looking for something that might look like that and would be an issue once you were to grab your A's. So we're making sure everything looks nice and clean. And when we peel off the brake toggle magnets from the riser magnets, we want to watch these brake lines go through the pulley clean and clear. Something to note is anything that happens beyond the malleons, beyond these guys, in our lines, before we have the A's in our hands, does not matter. In other words, we will have a twist in our lines and it'll look funny to us until we grab those A's. This is true for forward and it's true for reverse. Now that we have the brake toggles in our hands, we've cleared to pulley, we're going to collect both of the front A's, but this is where it gets different from a forward inflation. So I'm going to reach down just with my left hand and I'm going to collect both. From the outside, I'm going to collect both of the front A's. Not all four. Again, we're just grabbing the center A's, the parent A's, or the split A's, whatever you want to call them. And we're going to bring those out and around. In other words, when we've clipped in, we twisted counterclockwise, and now we're going to untwist clockwise with our left hand. We're going to pass it to our right hand because I've got a throttle in my left hand. This is all catered to how I do it, and you'll find out the way that works best for you. But I've got a throttle in this left hand, so I'm going to make sure that I am keeping this hand clear so I can modulate that throttle need be. So I want to make sure that these risers are even to the wing. All right. In other words, if I've got one like this and one like that, Now we're asking the wing to come up asymmetrically. So this would be favoring one half of the center A's more than the other half. So we want to make sure that these guys are in line, the blue stitching matching, and the mullions together, more or less. And then when it comes time, I'm going to go ahead and step back, and I'm going to pull tension into my wing. If I've done it correctly, my A-lines are on top of everything else except for this brake, my left brake handle going over and to the other pulley. I'm now going to go ahead and follow the brake lines back to the pulleys. Magnets should stow almost automatically. I'm going to pull these guys back through to keep things tidy. Awesome, guys. Let's go ahead and unclip and close out the video. All right, so that concludes part 2 of our clip-in series. This was reverse clip-in, and if you guys like the content, be sure to hit that button and subscribe to the channel. If you are interested, go ahead and look in the description below. There's a link to my Patreon account where I offer some pretty cool benefits, like getting in touch with me personally one-on-one via video chat, where we can look at your personal footage and figure out exactly what needs fine-tuning from a USPPA rated instructor. So if you guys are interested in that, go check that out. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Micah Stevens. This is Lifted PPG. Don't forget to take a deep breath, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.